Nubreed, global truth.
Disturbing story out of Holly Springs, where both city and county investigators are looking into a possible hate crime over the weekend. The incident involves a white male who allegedly yelled racial slurs inside CJ's Lounge, a popular African-American gathering spot off the square.
Now, why on earth would you go and do something like that? Now, a lot of you all can pretty much guess what happens next, especially if you just, have common sense. Let's go.
SWREG's Mike Suriani reports what happened next was captured on several social media platforms.
We're at this point now to see just how bad the assault was. We're hearing that it was there was some violent stuff that happened, and also there could be some sexual stuff that happened during the assault.
There wasn't any sexual stuff that happened during the assault. He simply got stripped, robbed, and embarrassed. Similar to how the mob do it. That's all, and that's it. He got humiliated. Let's go.
Lieutenant Colonel Kelly McMillan with the Marshall County Sheriff's Office says the investigation into the reported beating of a white male at a popular African-American club in Holly Springs called CJ's Lounge is well underway. The incident reportedly happened early Sunday morning after the victim was reportedly heard using racial slurs.
At this point in time, that's a critical part of this investigation because we have heard the same thing. However, we want to make sure that that is exactly what happened. But and if it is, then that would be reacted on as well.
I was hearing him blare out and yell out the N-word repeatedly.
Miles Stone is part-time DJ and security at CJ's and says he heard the victim's derogatory remarks.
Everybody on planet Earth has to live with their choices, and he walked in there with a choice to be very hateful, very negative.
Police believe the incident started.
The DJ is right. If I was to walk into a white biker bar right now and I get to hurling racial obscenities, calling them all kind of names, I may not even make it out of there. Might end up getting tarred and feathered out there. May end up getting decapitated, unalived, lynched. Why? Because it's all about respect. Anywhere you go in life. If you're in a penitentiary, workplace, grocery store, lounge, club, bar, no matter where you at, you just got to have respect for other people. He pretty much wandered in that club like one of them white vampires from the Sinners movie. And he started popping off. And, in this racial climate, that is very dangerous right now because there's people really crashing out. I mean, there was just a teen by the name of Michael Nixon, 17 years old, just committed first-degree murder against Khalif Webster, a 16-year-old. So there was a white student that killed a black student. There's a real race war going on. So, people could have thought that he was a real threat. Because if you got that kind of audacity to march up in the club like that, with all those black folks in there, nobody knows if he was going to really crash out and start doing something, crazy. He could have had something strapped to him. That could explain why they disarmed him. Let's go.
Inside CJ's Lounge and spilled out into this courtyard. This is where investigators say the victim was beaten. He was robbed, stripped of his clothing, while onlookers took video and laughed.
The victim.
Yo. Yo, he got his ass whipped from the inside of the club all the way to the outside. He got mollywopped and jolly stomped. They was in there like, whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick, get him, whoop that trick, get him. I mean, but what did he expect? I mean, what does anybody expect? You just don't go around doing things like this.
Victim is unfortunately has his jaws busted open, his eyes busted. He's just in a terrible state of mind right now.
Holly Springs police are not releasing the video they were able to get off Facebook, describing it as too graphic. They also say the owner of CJ's has not been cooperative and has not provided video from the lounge's cameras. This security camera video from a convenience store across the street shows a large crowd Sunday morning near the lounge, but does not show the courtyard. Kelly McMillan says the search is on for more video of the incident.
We're trying to adopt some search warrants, get those done, and see if we can retrieve information from those social media accounts.
For your news leader in Holly Springs, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Getting to the bottom of what happened there, and CJ's Lounge has now been closed by the city for the weekend incident and a number of previous complaints. We've reached out to the owner for comment. We're told the victim has been released from the hospital in New Albany.
See, the victim has been released. You know what I'm saying? He got some bumps and bruises, but his ass will live to hurl more racial slurs, or he'll learn his lesson. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he got unalived. He got his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? He went out here and he tried to flex. You know, that liquor got the better of him, and, you know, he had to sit down. And, you know, this is going on all over the states right now. You know, this is not the 1930s. You know what I'm saying? You are not fitting to just walk up in a black establishment hurling racial obscenities. You know, this is going on all over the country. You got Klansmen popping up, unalive, because they think it's cool to slide in the hood wearing white sheets. And all you finding is Klansmen suits. Now, look, let me put this out here. I don't like the current climate of society. But the race war is real. And like it or not, the media has created this type of environment. And now the environment is real. These things are really happening. And the best thing you can do is be respectful out here. You know what I'm saying? You don't go bothering people. Leave people alone. If you can imagine, those people in that bar or club were having a good old time. They were minding their business. They didn't plan to do anything to anybody. They let him in the party. As lit and drunk as he was, they let him in. And he did not know how to handle his liquor. And his racism started showing. And he could have been a potential threat. You know, when you see a person who is volatile and extremely drunk, you don't know what they're going to do. He could have been, you know, engaging some of the patrons at that establishment. And I really don't blame the owner for not wanting to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these type of things happen when you have a bar or lounge. You don't go up in a damn bar where the Hell's Angels are at and just start, you know, hurling all kind of obscenities. You can expect to be hurt. You can expect something to happen out of that. But, you know, these people on these crash out missions, I'm telling you right now, respect people. And black folks are not going for that. Now, of course, you got a lot of Sambos, you got a lot of raccoons, you got a lot of tethers who is actually in defense of this white guy. When, you know, this white guy, he lived to see another day. You know, it is what it is. He just got his ass whipped. I mean, they was out there doing the electric slide on dude. I mean, they was out there playing Little John on him, you know what I'm saying? And they got crunk in that junk, you know what I'm saying? What's that set that you throwing up? And they got real, you know? I mean, hey, you don't go in the hood acting up. It is, what can we say? I mean, what do people expect? And you know, on social media, these people been pushing to try to say the N-word. Oh man, they want to say it so bad. You know, they think because Trump is in office and, you know, this country seems to be veering towards strong right, you know, agendas, then people just want to get out there and crash out. Hey, whatever happens, happens. Now, let me say this as well. I don't agree with letting a word trigger you. I don't know the circumstances that happened in that club, but it is what it is. But I also know that I can't convince people not to respond how they're going to respond, especially in Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, anywhere that's the Bible Belt. I cannot I cannot tell my people don't respond when it's been so much racism with no impunity, so much hatred, so much just visceral that came from white people in the South. Now our people just not going for that. If they got their own little corner, their own little club, they minding their business, and you want to go up in there starting some stuff, listen, I can't tell you what's going to happen. And I'm also say this, and I speak for the black delegation when I say this. If you're a black man and you go into a white bar and you start hurling all kind of racist obscenities, if you go into a Spanish bar, you start hurling all kind of racist obscenities. You go into the Africa bar, you start doing the same, and they whoop your ass. I'm gonna tell you, the black delegation is not gonna have any sympathy for you. That's a fact. There's not gonna be a scene like a scene off Higher Learning. We're not gonna pull up and slide for you. That's not gonna happen. Matter of fact, black people are gonna be like, bro, why did you even go do that? Because why? We're not looking for trouble. Black people don't go looking for trouble as a whole. So you going out there doing that, that's on you, Playboy. You know what I'm saying? You need to handle your liquor or stay in the house or hang out in your own clubs, right? Anyway, nonetheless, I just wanted to cover this topic. Found it quite interesting. But anyway, y'all have a blessed one. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the site, newbreedglobaltruth.com. Y'all be blessed out there. Shalom and peace.